Hey, today we're going to be, this is Messy Desk Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at the Finn from the new Star Wars Force Awakens. And we're going to be looking at Finn. He's number 1 in the series, right here. If you can see that, we're going to give you a quick look around the box. There is the description. It says no children under a certain age, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows all that. We're not interested in that too much. So you get that over there. And then you got this nice image of Finn right here. We want to give you our first impressions of this figure before we even open it. My impression so far is I really like the face sculpt. It looks a lot like the character. I don't know too much about the character yet, but we'll find out in the movie in December. I really like the blaster. It's very unique. It's not like your typical stormtrooper or blaster or anything like that, but it's cool. It's different. So we're going to have a lot of new things that are coming up in the movie, and we're going to have to get used to it. I really like the paint that's on the feet. It really looks like he's got a sandy kind of feel to it. Like he's really been on like Tatooine or something. I guess the planet's Jakku though. But the negatives that I can see, there's not a lot of dry brushing on this figure that I can really see. I mean, it looks like there's some on the coat, and there's none on the black at all. But in the elbows, it's a single point of articulation. So I would really like 2 points of articulation at least in that, but we'll find out once we crack this thing open. So what do you say we get to doing that? Well, now let's get to the unboxing. As you see, we'll set this to the side. There's a figure in this packaging. Usually there's more stuff, more blister accessories, but it looks like he just comes with a gun. Let's go to get him out. Put this to the side. Well, there he is. Looks pretty good. Not bad. You gotta love that new plastic smell. That's a good smell. Let's break in the joints real quick, and feels very solid, not loose at all. Maybe I'm wrong about the quality of these new figures. I kind of hope I am. Alright, well, let's get to the review part of it. Alright, well, here's the figure right here out of the box. My first impressions are, it's pretty good. I like the sculpt and everything. I'm pretty impressed with the figure. I haven't played with it too much, but I've noticed a lot of good things. I mean, the sculpt is really good. The paint's not so great right in here. There's a lot of black that's painted on over it, and some black in here. I don't know if it's intentional, maybe, but there's a lot of good sculpting in like the shoulders, and his pockets are sculpted well. And here's his face. That's really sculpted well. I almost think it looks like Tracy Morgan a little bit. Yeah, Tracy Morgan. And but there's a lot of good things about this figure. I think that Hasbro showed a lot more love to this figure than I really anticipated they would. I mean, like the sand on the pant legs and on the shoes, they look really good. They look like some Vans or something, like some futuristic Vans maybe. And it's got some good articulation. Let's do a size comparison before we get into the articulation. What do you say, guys? All right, first off, we're gonna get straight to the other Black Series. We're gonna compare him to a Stormtrooper. Everybody knows what a Stormtrooper looks like. He looks like he's a little bit smaller than the average Stormtrooper, you know. Good figure. I like that one a lot. Everybody knows what the Stormtrooper looks like. And I don't know if a lot of people would collect Marvel Legends, but here's a Marvel Legend, Nova. I don't know if a lot of people have him or not, but it's good scale. I mean, a little bit smaller. Pretty good figure. And here's an import figure. You know, a lot of people like the SH figure arts, and we'll get him in there. Everybody knows what the Green Ranger looks like. If not, then oh well. Sorry about your luck. Pretty good scale, I think. A little bit taller than SH figure arts, I think. And for my other, you know, passion, we'll measure him to a Gundam. A little bit smaller than a Gundam, you know, but that's a master grade, so let's get into the articulation now.
Alright, so for articulation, we've got a head, pivots down, up, just a little bit. I think it's just on a ball and pivot. We've got shoulder articulation. It can go up about that high. It's kind of limited by the jacket sculpt here. And go all the way around. At the elbow, we've got a single jointed elbow. You can see here. Kind of pivot around at the elbow. The wrist here, we've got a wrist pivot and hinge system. Kind of see it moving there. Okay, onto the waist. I guess we'll talk about the other hand over here real quick. He doesn't come with any extra hands like some figures do, but got kind of the trigger finger that we're used to here, and it kind of moves roll the dice style here, kind of up and down at the wrist instead of the back and forth like we're used to in some hands. You've got kind of a waist turn, not really an ab crunch there, more just a turn, and nothing really below that, kind of just molded it high. Onto the legs here, we've got a little bit of a kick out, forward and back. Got a thigh swivel. Got a double jointed knee that actually is very good. Did really well on hiding that one into the pant leg. Move down the foot. We've got just a little bit of toe point here, and that's about it on the feet. Alright, let's move on to those accessories. Okay, and onto the accessories. Finn actually only comes with one accessory, and it's this little blaster right here. As you can see, I actually like how they did the paint apps on this. They have nice silver on the barrel and the scope at the top there. We've got nice little black dry brushing all over the place. Definitely highlights those details on there. And it feels good. It's not like super bendy and flexy like some of them you get. It feels solid and fits in his hand actually pretty well. So it's definitely different from the Stormtroopers. Give him a very unique feel, almost like a mercenary or something weapon.
So now that we've reviewed the figure, Finn, what do you think about him as a figure so far?
I actually really like him. He's got very good clothing detail. I mean, as you can see, like across the chest here, he's got very good texturing, and I just really like how the clothing set up and stuff. He's got a very good face sculpt. It's one of the better ones I've seen in figures here lately.
I agree. Yeah, that face sculpt, it definitely looks like Tracy Morgan. No, I don't know who the actor's name yet. I'm not too familiar with him, but from pictures that I've seen, it does look a lot like him. You know, I give a lot of shit to the face sculpt looking like Tracy Morgan, but in truth, for the face sculpt, it's a really good face sculpt. His sculpting on the clothes, definitely for sure. I think it's amazing. The articulation, though, I'm not as happy as I'd like to be. Legs are always the easy part to do, I think, in a figure. Upper torso and like arm articulation are harder to hide, especially with like clothing and jackets and stuff. You know, what are your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, like you said, I definitely think that the arm articulation leaves something to be desired. It is a little cumbersome around the shoulder because of the jacket sculpt, and it's hard to do a double jointed elbow with the jacket, but as you said, I mean, it's not a bad figure at especially at its price. I think they're about $20.
Yeah, $20 for the Black Series. That's about right. You know, for ever since I've been collecting, they're about that price point. There are going to be a lot of scalpers out there that are going to get their hands on these, and they're going to bump the price up quite a bit. Okay, so I don't know where the thing let off. Our camera died. We were talking about what we thought of the figure. Like the articulation, I think it could be better. But for the figure that it is and the price that you're paying, you're getting a very good figure, you know.
I would jump on this figure if you have the chance. I do believe this is the best looking figure so far in this new series. So
Yeah, scout, like I said, scalpers will price gouge this once all these are bought up. You know, I happened to run across this whole series, and I wasn't even looking for them where I was at, and I found the whole series there, and I bought it up as quick as possible because I know that I've seen some prices already, and they're ridiculous. And so when you see these figures, get them if you can. Now that they're doing this new Star Wars for this generation, I'm getting more excited. You know, the last set of Star Wars movie, I guess people didn't think they were too great, but it's definitely a movie and stuff that we can all get into and all experience and enjoy. And with these figures, we can recreate some of those memories of that movie.